Okay. Says we are streaming.
Nice.
Does your phone agree?
I'm sure it will. Yes, it does. 69. Episode 69. No way.
Episode 69. All right. Say hello to Chris.
Hello.
Say hello to Charlie.
Hey there, folks.
And the music goes away. Here we go. All right. So we're in between Christmas and New Year's. And this is one of my Christmas presents.
New Year's episode. What was?
My little
Oh,
camo,
what you're wearing?
Little camo and Patagonia. They're almost like antithetical. That's why
Camo
I like
and
it.
Patagonia? Yeah, that's kind of like an oxymoron, right?
It is.
Like, they wouldn't be caught dead making that, and someone who wears camo wouldn't necessarily be wearing
Right.
Patagonia.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
wait.
why
Speaking of camo, do you notice the new decoration that I have? Wait, you can. Wait.
Your mics, I can see the globe and I can see Trump with the mic bar through it. Is it?
There's a new decoration.
I got a gun in the background.
I got a over-under. Yeah, I got a Savage 555 in the background.
I don't know what a Savage 555 is.
It's 16 gauge over-under skeet shooting shotgun. I just got it for Christmas. Yeah.
Okay.
So I figured that's suitable for, it's like a wood, it's like a 2-barrel shotgun, whatever. It's pretty old school.
Uh-huh.
That fits our. I think that's good. Yeah.
Sure. You can blow away that
yeah.
porcelain
And-
duck behind me.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah.
It's a clay duck.
Well, it costs a little bit more than a clay. Yeah. A little more than the Target clay.
Just throw it up and boom.
Boom.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing
Some
you would have done
redecorating.
in college. You would have, like, the value of something would have completely, gone away, and people would have been, oh, that's awesome. Then the next day, you'd be like, oh, no.
What a complete waste.
We blew up
Have
that
you
really
ever
nice
seen-
duck.
There's think about things that you would have liked to shot with a shotgun. Like, to me, and I didn't even know it until I saw it, but there's this guy gun trick. And sorry for my voice, it's all messed up, but I've just been laughing so goddamn hard over the holidays. It's a good sign. But this guy he's like a trick shotgun guy, whatever. So he'd like do an act,
Annie
And he'd
Oakley?
be like, how about this? Like doesn't
Yeah.
even look at it. Blows it right out of the air. And one of the things he would shoot are these like 5-pound medicine balls. And not like a medicine ball that you're thinking like an exercise ball, like literally a medicine ball. Like it's just vitamin C, just like powdered vitamin C packed tightly into a ball, like a ball shape. Like imagine like a 5-pound. So he would like take it and throw it in the air and just go poof, this giant puff of smoke. It's just the funniest thing ever. I forget the guy's name, but there's just a fun of ton shit that he shot. It made my day.
A fun of ton shit?
A ton of a fun of ton shit.
That's something I'd say. Is
know fuck
there
about shit.
is there something behind the medicine ball other than the clever play on words?
No, I just think about things that would be fun to shoot with a shotgun. I don't know. I've always wanted to shoot a TV.
A
I
watermelon.
thought that'd be fun.
I think a watermelon
That's
would be.
yeah. What you do is you take tannerite, you carve out the inside of the watermelon, and you put tannerite in it, and then you shoot that with a .22, and you just go boom. It's sky high. That's great. Yeah. Another fun trick for you kids at home is if you have empty propane tanks, like they're empty, like those miniature ones, not a full size propane tank, but like mini camping ones. So like, it's like a portable heater. So when they're empty, same thing. There's still a little bit of fuel in there. It's just not enough to have any effect on your camping equipment. So you can take these little, it's like the size of a 1 liter jug or whatever, and tape a thing of tannerite to it, and the mixture of fuel and explosive turns it into a fireball. So it's tannerite with a fireball. It's fucking awesome.
What is tannerite?
Tannerite is legal explosives. It's like, think about like and it's velocity detonated. I don't know, so it's pressure detonated. So it'll only detonate if I found that it's made for. Lainey said it's coming from inside the house, my sister's home.
Uh-oh.
That's funny.
Hi, Laney. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, she's invited, but we didn't actually set it up. So Tannerite, you can buy it at like Dick's Sporting Goods. Well, not anymore. They got rid of all their gun stuff. But Dunham's, you can buy it in bulk. You know, it's not too expensive. But you mix the compound with the reactant, or I don't know what they call it, catalyst. And then when you hit it with a bullet that moves at a certain velocity, it detonates the Tannerite, and just the more you put in the bag, the bigger it blows up. It's like plastique kind of, but you can make it at home, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah, cool. Redneck shit.
It's coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
I said Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
You know what? I forgot how to erase these.
Just have it go away. Merry Christmas to my favorite CJs in my life. Well, yeah, because we're both CJ.
Yeah.
That might be misleading, though, because I don't know if she knows anybody else named CJ. Yeah. So
Don't know.
I'll take it, though, but she might just be, that might be a minimum ask there.
So what were your couple of riff things?
Oh, so I'm talking about Christmas presents. I have this is a new sweater I got. But the girl that I'm talking to she goes, what the fuck? Everything that you own is exactly the same. It's just a different color of the same outfit variation. And I'm like, the autism in me, if I could just wear the same outfit every single day for the rest of my life without like getting side-eyed in public, I would love that. So that's what I got for Christmas, and I'm totally in for it. It's just an outfit, a uniform. And if you go through the thumbnails on our show, I'm sure you'll see most of it is just different colors of the exact same quarter zip sweatshirt, which is, I love that. But the thing that I really wanted to talk about was I went to Top Golf with my family today, which is a golfing. There's 50 of them around the country, I learned. It's basically like Target golfing. So you get a little bay, you know, it's kind of like a bowling alley where everybody goes. There's maybe 50 or 100 lanes, I don't know. And there's golf clubs, and it's heated, it's outdoors, and it's like a driving range, but you golf and the goal is to get the ball into one of these little, I guess it's like a bunker kind of. You try to hit the ball into a target, you know, like big golf ski ball, like giant size ski ball. So it's a pretty fun idea, right? And it was cool. I didn't do great. I'm not good at golf, so obviously. But while we were there, I had a slightly triggered moment where this dude at we were waiting in line, right, for the Top Golf, and it's busy as shit. So I go in there with my brother. We're waiting in line, whatever. Takes a decent amount of time. Finally, we pay. Dude behind the counter says, "Hey, thanks so much. I think there's not going to be a wait, but let me just check and make sure that we have a lane open for you." So cool. My brother and I walk over to the door, just hanging out. It's a pretty big place, pretty spacious inside. So we're just hanging out. And this other guy, I'm assuming manager based on his age, he comes up and he goes, "Hey guys, are you all set? What's going on?" And I'm like, No, we're good. He just told us to wait around, and he said, well, he'll text us when we're ready. And he goes, "Oh, okay, great. Well, there's no waiting inside, so can you go outside?" And we're wearing masks. We're, standing not near anybody. He's getting close to us to tell us this. And I'm like, "What do you fucking mean there's no waiting inside? I just waited 10 minutes in your fucking line next to 5 other strangers to get to this shit." Like, it just triggered me. I was so upset. I wanted to bust the guys. I just wanted to. I fucking got into my core. I'm like, dude, I just did waiting for a long time. You want me to wait outside in the car? So in spite
maybe
of him,
there's
went
two
outside
kinds
and
of
took my mask
waiting,
off,
and
stood at the front door.
he didn't have the eloquence to make that clear to you. Maybe
Hey,
once you
there's
sign
line
in,
waiting, and then there's
that's probably what he meant. Once you're all signed in,
fair
you wait
enough. But
outside.
then have the fucking guy at the counter tell me, "Hey, and by the way, we're gonna text you. Can you just go stand outside?" I would have been like, "Totally cool, dude."
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. He failed to make. Hey, once you're signed in, our protocol is you wait outside and we shoot you out. If you guys could do that for
So he's
me.
like, "Hey, I'm sorry to ask, but I'm gonna have to ask you guys to leave and go wait outside." And I'm like,
You did get triggered.
I
It's
did.
the
I was
lady-
upset,
it's-
and you know me. I
It's the
got
lady
triggered
at
by
the
the
gas
other lady
station
at the gas station that one
all
time.
over again. The
I just
only
wanted to
difference
bite
is
the guy's head
semantics.
off. Like, fuck you, prick. Like I'm, I'm doing what
You-
I'm
you-
wearing my "Make America Great Again" winter hat, which is, I don't know if that makes me a target, but I hope so.
I had a conversation.
Other than that, they were completely polite. It's a great place.
I had a conversation with a guy I used to work with. He's retired, so he's a little bit older.
He's
And
retarded.
He retired.
Sorry.
So even maybe lose my train of thought. We there was a point very relevant to what you just said. Anyway, whatever. We were talking about like getting along with people and being out in the stratosphere with the rest of the world. And I don't know, somebody on a podcast said this, and I mentioned it to you, and I don't know if I did it on our podcast, but and sorry for half the people who might look at this. Go talk to somebody with an IQ of 100. Remember how that
Talk to the
feels.
mirror.
And then contemplate half the people having less intelligence than that person. And I think that's kind of what you're struggling with. Because I mentioned that to this guy. Something came up where it was something pissed somebody off in terms of just interacting with the world. I'm like, dude, you got to remember.
The thing that's a very good observation. I'm sure that it stems from that. I don't try to be like that doesn't run through my mind when that guy says that. Like, I think that happens to my dad because he'll be like, oh, you mean to tell me that there's actually two different kinds of waiting? That's what you meant to say. And he'll say it in like this condescending, patronizing tone. I'll be like, you can't do that. It's like the libertarian thing. Oh, so how about you put a sign up that says there's two kinds of waiting, and then your job is eliminated, and nobody ever else has to have this fucking annoying conversation with somebody like you or whatever, and the company saves this much money and stuff. Whatever. That doesn't go through my head. But the thing that gets me is I'm like, I don't want to get triggered, and I can't. As much as I make fun of liberals for that very thing, I can't help it. That's the point, right? And nobody can. I don't want to have an interaction that makes me mad. So just don't do that to me. You're making me irrational. You're fucking flicking a switch in my brain that makes me go on the attack mode, and I want to just. It makes me fume, and I'm like,
Yeah, you need to learn
So-
to manage that part of your brain. I have said
it's
things.
adrenaline control, totally.
Yeah. I've said things exactly, gone down the path that you just described that your dad said. And especially when people have the ability to kind of fuck with you in terms of the further level of service that's provided to you, it generally does not improve that. So one, it's kind of not fair to take advantage of people who can't compete.
No, it's not. And the guy's just doing his job, right?
And two, you wind up fucking yourself because
Yeah,
eventually
because then
one
you're
of
the
those,
asshole.
somebody's gonna. Well, you're the asshole, and they're gonna screw you. They're gonna be like, "Fuck that guy. Let's let a couple people go in front of him and give him a taste of his own prick medicine."
Yeah, that's
So-
right. It's fair too to do. It's totally fair. Hey, I don't mean to interrupt. Is
I
there
don't
any
know
way to get
about
rid of this
that.
fucking comment off of the screen?
I was trying to figure it out. I don't remember how, because people.
It's just fade away. That's all right. Well, at least it's a happy one. It doesn't say like something vulgar.
Oh wait, yeah,
but
I
you're
know
right.
how
It's,
I know how to do it.
Oh, cool. But you're triggering me with the comments. But yeah, it's just better to be nice. There we go. And that guy wasn't trying to not be nice, but the onus is on me to not get upset, and I don't know how to do that.
You know what? I can almost guarantee you, he didn't connect the dots. He
For
didn't
sure.
He didn't even process that they waited in line, and now they're waiting outside. He didn't even, that information didn't flow through his head. He's like, what's he talking about? He probably thought you
And
were
then there's-
stupid. Like, what are you talking about? You got to wait. What do you mean you just waited? You just started waiting.
Dude, in 4 minutes, when you text me to come inside, I'm going to walk in, go downstairs, go 10 feet, and take off my fucking mask because I'm 5 feet farther away from anybody else in this building. Like, what are you doing to me? You're fucking, and there's waiting areas inside where they have them
should've left you alone.
cordoned off. They have, like velvet. Yeah, you should have just fucking left me
I
alone.
flipped the switch.
It wasn't his fault. Sorry, they have like velvet rope set up. Not really, but those things at the movie theater that, and it says area closed, no waiting. And there's people waiting in there, and he doesn't fucking say jack shit to these people. And I'm like, why was I targeted? What the fuck is this? Whatever. So I just sat there fuming outside, and then they called us in, and it was all good. But
And then did you have fun hitting golf balls?
I did, but I did very poorly. Yeah.
There are very few things that I wanted to be good at that I didn't have a relatively easy time getting good at. Golf was one of them. I think part of it was body type. I think there were two things. I think one was body type, and the other one was I was convinced that I could hit it a mile with brute force and didn't have the discipline to not whack the shit out of it and have awful form.
That's a big thing. Yeah, just like slow is sometimes better. So actually the better advice is don't ever whack it, like a fucking madman. I just don't. My dad is great at it. He just today even I'm just seeing him hit these straight, no hooks, no slices every time, and I'm like, what the motherfucking what is how do I get the consistency down? I'll use one club if I have to. Just like what finger do I have to cut off as a sacrifice to get good at one club where I can just hit it where I want it every time? It's like I just can't do the hooks and the slices and don't know where to put the damn thing, where your feet, whatever. I'll stick with skiing every day of the week.
Well, starting young probably helps. Hey, I thought of something.
Yeah,
we're going to go down a rabbit hole.
Do it.
When skiing's on, World Cup or whatever, and it was on the other day, so I thought of you. Will you watch skiing on television?
I will watch it if my dad is there because he enjoys it and I enjoy watching it with him because it's someone to talk to about it. Yeah.
What's the difference between watching skiing and watching a football game?
I say when I watch skiing, but I'm not a football player. So when I watch skiing, I discuss the technique and then how this guy's doing versus that guy, whatever. But then when, I'm like, oh, he's too far forward, or oh shit,
take yourself out of it. Take yourself out of it. Conceptually, what's the difference?
It's a team sport. Yeah, I don't know. That's
no, I mean you rail on it. So I wondered if Charlie watches skiing, and if so, I got to ask him.
Like I said, I don't even necessarily enjoy watching skiing, but if my dad is there, because he enjoys watching skiing, I will watch it with him to talk about something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's still a loser, I'm watching someb... else live life kind of event if you were to do it alone.
Yeah, I could go. I'd rather be skiing. What's the, there's a shirt you could say that. I'd rather be ... I'd rather be skiing. Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, whatever. It's
just doing a sanity check.
That's a consistent philosophy in my life. I don't really like watching sports.
Just had to know. Okay, what's your second thing?
That was my second thing.
The line, and
yeah, that was it. I already talked about how. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Even if we didn't go over it, I'm gonna bail out. Wait, here's another thing. Also at Top Golf, and you'll appreciate this. And I need to ask you this because it's related. And you said last week that you didn't want to talk about this shit, so we'll make it really quick. You wanted it to be a happy episode. Why the fuck does the government force Top Golf to install a $150,000 approximately a handicapable ramp to go to a golfing thing? Like, could you golf if you wanted to?
I couldn't because I don't have the hand strength, but there are a lot of guys in chairs who golf. A lot of guys.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, what they do is there's I think they do it one-handed, but they make these adaptive golf cart things where there's a swivel thing and you're sitting in, an adaptive seat and it pivots around and you golf off the back of a golf cart. And there's plenty of guys that do that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
I guarantee you from time to time people in chairs go in there.
So it's like a
I can't
driving
guarantee
range.
it, but
Yeah. So my question is,
but you still need to hit balls.
right? Ricky Brown. I don't know who Ricky Brown is, Mr. Leibowitz. I apologize.
Ricky Brown is a guy from Sigma Chi.
Oh shit! No way.
Shaddy Leibowitz, are you related to Fawn Leibowitz? This is somebody from my fraternity days.
From
And
college.
everybody used to make
Awesome.
fun of him saying,
My point is, let's pretend that
who
the
fuck
government,
is
and
this?
this might be a good point, Shaddy. So maybe I'm wrong, but
Wait,
my point is,
wait.
if
do
the
you know
government-
do you know who Fawn Leibowitz is?
no, I've never heard it.
Sophomore dies in kiln explosion. We've talked about the movie.
No.
Animal House.
Oh shit. Okay.
Sophomore
Oh,
dies
that's
in
the
kiln
guy who
explosion.
dies in the kiln explosion. Yeah, right. Oh yeah.
I'm here to pick up Fawn
Related to
Leibowitz. Can you take a seat, please? And can you get 3 dates for my friends?
My favorite is when they go to that. They just stole our dates. Yeah.
I need Ms. Leibowitz to reveal a little more to me about downtown Ricky Brown.
Downtown Ricky Brown.
Oh shit, where were we?
No, my point was this. I'm railing against regulation here. So if my point is Top Golf, which is already a, let me say conservatively, $3 million facility, right? It's giant and it's
'Kay.
fucking like everything's top notch. It might even be more than that, $5 mil. And they're like, hey, I know this is a 2-story hike, but you need to build a 2-story handicapable access ramp for people in wheelchairs who would like to, or whatever. They'd be like, let's see, we're gonna build 150K, and over the lifetime of our business, or 2 years before a pandemic.
Oh, the investment's
Well,
crazy.
Why am I getting so many collection letters? That's a story.
That one is going past me.
That's an inside story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Give us another hint, Shaddy. The point is, would they have installed that entrance? Were they not forced to? And I don't
No
know.
way.
What-
None of that shit pays off.
Yeah. Now, do you think that? So you don't think it even pays off?
No way.
Now, if
Absolutely
you're a
not.
wheelchair guy and you're like, I fucking love golfing, and you're like, this fucking Top Golf place, fuck you. You don't have a handicapable entrance. They'd be like,
It's hard to have perspective.
I know. That's why I'm asking you about it, because I'm like,
No, even
doesn't
for
even
me, it's hard to have perspective. Because if you just totally shut it off, then you're kind of fucked.
yeah,
It's just so easy to get around and do stuff. I mean, if I go to a Tigers game and I sit in like the good seats, you go back, there's these switchbacks of ramps to get down maybe 20 steps.
that's what they had here. It's switchback ramps. It's like elegant.
And fucking A.
Elegant.
And there's probably 20 of these in Tiger Stadium, and just tens of thousands of dollars, if not $100,000, for all this concrete and all the seats it takes up. It's crazy. So
Imagine, yeah.
is that I will say there are, when I've gone and when I go to games, I used to go to matinee games with my dad, there were a lot of people in wheelchairs. So
And I don't even think that that's wrong, because I'm sure they get some money from the city to do that, right? Or some kind of incentive.
I don't think so.
Nothing at all. It's all private.
I don't think so. Well, but here's something that went through my head. So, like I said, for some of the stuff, it's hard for me to be objective, because I'm sure it would run through my head, gee, it sure would be nice to go to a football game or a baseball game or whatever else. Like going to malls. Malls are so unbelievably accessible. I mean, the United States does a really, really good job. I mean, there's like going in the woods, and even trails. I'm sure trails have to be accessible in some fashion.
And we've talked about this on a previous show, actually. you think
Yeah.
it's
So
overly? Yeah.
it probably goes too far. And I'll tell you one example. I was driving to work, and where I work is in kind of a semi no man's land in Detroit.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely an oasis. And I'm on the service drive. You go down the service drive, then you turn onto a kind of a larger street that our headquarters is on, and you cross back over the freeway, and there are sidewalks, and they had just redone a handicap ramp.
CT Tick, and I think we know who's responsible for our bad credit. Is this a fraternity treasury joke?
Thea T. Tick was the attic. Okay?
Oh, Thea T. Tick.
This might be your dad.
Wait, my dad's emails are the Thea T. Tick. I never fucking got that. That's funny.
And Columbia Record House, which, do you even know what that is?
No, it's some building in Michigan, I'm sure.
No. It's a club.
Oh.
Back when you had vinyl albums, you'd get a thing in the
Sure.
mail, and there would be all these stickers, and you could pick like 12 albums, and you filled in the stickers, and you would get them for a penny, and then you were obligated to buy like 3 albums over the course of 36 months or 24 months
No, he
at
just
an
said-
outrageous price. Not outrageous, but $15. It was still a good deal. So Columbia House. Who the fuck is this? Yeah. So Thea T. Tick.
You're a bad brother.
Anyway, so there were whatever shenanigans could be played in terms of taking advantage of something with the ability to use anonymity under the secret name Thea T. Tick was done. So
That's good.
probably what was
It's
it?
kind of like the guy that they invented in Animal House with the perfect whatever, right? Scores. It was like a combination of Abraham Lincoln and Rosa Parks and whatever. the fuck. Maybe that was a different movie, but yeah.
I don't remember that.
Maybe that was Beta House. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So anyway, I'm turning this corner, and they had just installed the latest, greatest ramp up onto a sidewalk in no man's land in Detroit. I mean, where it was just approaching our little oasis. And I'm like, really? And I'm sure they had to satisfy, ADA law when they were making a substantial improvement to the, but, probably cost $1,500. With that fancy little orange insert with the bumps
And it's-
and
Yeah. Too much fun for you. Okay, you know what? If we're going to go down the Sigma Chi hole, here's my favorite story. And this is not Brotherhood related. I'm not going to out any secrets.
okay.
This is
Well, no,
fucking
the
hilarious.
person who.
We'll go ahead and finish.
So, Dave Chanier said that to, at least the recall is going to be good, to Bill Rogers. So we were having a party, and it was a closed party, fraternity and a sorority, and a guy named Bill Rogers asked Dave Chanier, said, "Hey, can you please leave? It's a closed party." And his response was, "Why? Am I having too much fun for you, or what's wrong?"
When I was a kid, my dad would tell me these stories with similar vigor and cadence. And it blew my mind because even when I got to college, I'm like, they couldn't have been my age when this shit was happening. They had to have been adults. And I'm like, some of the shit that I heard you guys did was just ridiculous. Like, and being in a fraternity myself, But like the guy falling off falling off the roof?
Keith
And then
Keith McDrop.
Yeah.
Yeah. His last name was McDade, but from ever on, he was McDrop.
McDrop. That's awesome. And then the speaker story, that's fine. But, stealing the
Did you ever
treasury checks, I was there for all that stuff. But the
Yes, taking
best
Rick Champel.
What?
You're going to be a hero if you buy these huge fucking speakers. Who has the chalk?
Yeah, you're gonna be
Yeah.
a hero. Yeah, who has the chalk? Oh, is that for his body? Yeah.
Yeah, they did
Where
an
he fell
outline.
on the ground. Yeah, I know this story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go. Wait, but the best one and this is hilarious, is you're going to have to fill me in on the names. The two guys, they might have been in the attic, but across the street from, was it the library?
Lockwad shooting shit in the window.
The Lockwad. Yeah, and there was a black something going on, an event in the Lockwad going on that day. And these two guys were up in the attic with the window open, sitting on the couch.
They weren't even
putting
in the attic.
Empty beer cans.
They were in a, they were in a lower window. Yeah.
DOD. Wait, so anyway, so these guys were sitting on a couch in the Sigma Chi fraternity house across the street from the Lockwad, where there's a
so the law school
black-oriented event of some kind. Yeah. The event of some kind, which is heavily African American going on. I have no idea what the event was, and they're putting these empty beer cans on the windowsill, sitting back on the, shooting these empty beer cans out the window. Which, you know, who the fuck thinks
with a BB gun?
I would have done that same thing, right, with a BB gun. And so I guess these pellets were high-powered, high-velocity, armor-piercing rounds of some sort.
Well, no, and they were missing.
Oh, they were missing.
They were.
Okay.
You're gonna miss occasionally.
Not me.
Because it's a couple of guys with 20 beers in them, right?
Oh, right. They had to get the empty beer cans from somewhere.
Well, not just that.
So they're shooting.
Who lacks the presence of mind to shoot out a window with a building immediately across the street? I mean, we're talking like 200 feet.
Well, I don't know how far away this is. I've never been there, so I don't.
It's fraternity.
In my mind, it's
fraternity.
Yeah.
Very small front lawn, 2-lane street, very sidewalk, very small patch of grass, big ass building, probably 100 feet.
Okay, so it's impossible to miss, and they're just.
It's as far across as the neighbor across the street from you in your neighborhood. And you're fucking shooting out your
so
window. Oh my God,
close.
yeah. It's crazy.
Oh shit. Hey, Tony. Oh, someone shot your fucking eye out? That might have been my neighbor. That might have been mine.
Yeah, so, right. So Ann Arbor
the
police
were going,
rush that come into the house. Finish. Go ahead.
The best part of the story for me is that the bullets were going through the windows at the Lockwad, and people, because of this black event, were being like, holy shit, there's a shooter. Like someone is
active shooter, absolutely, and it wouldn't even matter.
And this
who's
is the
there.
time before cell phones and shit. So,
yeah,
like the cops get called, and fucking your two buddies with a BB gun get the cops raid the house. I don't even know,
with guns drawn, literally.
That shit is crazy. Yeah,
guns
that's
drawn,
insane.
Like hands in the air, hands fire. Here's these two fucking morons with a BB gun.
I was part of a cop raid only once in a fraternity, and it ended up with 12 or 15 of us handcuffed in the front yard. I forget the freaking story. Oh, no. I stayed in the house, and I was caught in the house. But a bunch of them handcuffed on their knees in the front yard. Funniest thing ever. But that story is great. And it's such a different time because there's no phones. People are different in general. You get away with a lot more shit. That I just think that the 80s was the best time to have ever gone to college. And
I don't disagree.
That,
it was a fun time to grow up. There was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just enough technology to have fun, not so much that everything's fucking filmed and crazy and litigated.
And people are real. Yeah. And people are real.
Yeah, you had to talk. You had to talk to communicate. It's funny. I was thinking of that yesterday. I texted everybody Merry Christmas. I don't think I made one phone call. I don't think I received one phone call.
I had to text you. Oh, you mean everybody that you did text?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? You didn't text me shit. No, I kind of got to it pretty early, though. No, I texted you, and you said, hey, Merry Christmas.
Right.
And then my mom actually said that. I said no gifts. That was my mom's joke. That was not my joke.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was still quick.
Sorry.
That's all right.
That's good.
Should have kept it. That was clever.
Yeah, shit. Now I know more than to speak up. But that being said, Sigma Chi had freaking... I grew up on that shit. It was the only thing. Hearing you guys do dumb shit, that was what made me want to join a fraternity. Obviously, my dad. But
I will tell you, I've probably forgotten the majority and the best of the stories.
Oh,
It-
for sure. And I was only there half the time that you were, and I don't remember everything.
It happened all the time, nonstop.
I will say the best story, and I won't go too.
I started thinking about when they come to mind, keeping a log. And the stories that
That's the best way.
happened, people would say, no fucking way. No way did all this happen. The 2.5 years with however long I lived in there. No way. Absolutely not. This is like you got these out of movies or you thought this up. Yeah, like the shooting
Scared of
gallery.
caffeine,
How
scared of
hilarious
sugar was
that.
part of my childhood. Yeah. That was
Scared
part
of my mom,
me
scared of
growing
my
up.
sister.
And, yeah.
That's
and
not
so was,
good.
I'm the strongest man in the world. The same thing. Like Vio is getting, he had a lot to do with that. But
I don't know how
that
much
was
of
all
that
part of my life.
how much of that story was shared with you. But the funny thing was the way that I was tormenting him was I was like jumping on the table and on the chairs. I was literally jumping around like a monkey.
Well, yeah, you were doing, yeah, and he broke a chair, right? He actually smashed a chair to pieces.
Did he? Okay, I don't remember that.
That's what I was told. Yeah, I don't know. Or
Absolutely.
he was doing this,
wouldn't
jumping
doubt
up
it.
and down like that. I don't know. I don't remember, but shit, I don't
Now
know.
we're telling inside
Poetic
stories
license.
that people aren't privy to.
Sorry.
It's
I'll,
all right.
I'll quiet it down. But that stuff was all great.
Very good
yeah, where's I
times.
gonna go with this?
Lots of noodle salad.
I'll share. This is the lots of noodle salad, but just nobody in this car. The one funniest thing that I can remember right now, without sharing too much names, yada yada, we did have 2 pledges actually get married one semester, legally married. That
To
was
each
fun.
other?
Yeah, like gay marriage. Yeah, that's
Wow.
a pretty good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah. I won't say anything beyond that or what.
It's not crazy, but
it was a great time.
no,
No, it's just funny, and it was like
it's a story.
It was like to wrap up. It was like to wrap up the Hell Week or some shit. It was like the ending. It was like, okay, you're getting initiated tomorrow. You know, it was good times though. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go to this ceremony where dress nice. But yeah, good times. Sororities are weird. I never would have probably, if I was a girl, hearing about fraternities, I would have been jealous. I'd have been like, what the fuck? Sororities are so stupid. And it's just because girls are in them. And it's like drama, bullshit. Most of the girls that I knew who were in a sorority ended up quitting.
Really?
At least, yeah, it's, yeah.
The houses that we hung out with most just seemed like girl versions. Well, I mean, they couldn't have parties and that, but everybody seemed to get along and have fun.
There's something
I mean,
about hazing that creates a tight bond.
I agree with that.
A pledge
But I
term
mean,
that
there were
creates a tight, yeah.
there were sororities that were, like I said, just I think girls that really got along well and had a good time living together. Obviously, very, very, very different atmosphere. No parties,
Totally.
The houses were clean and pristine, and there were prissy sororities, but that's fine.
That was the Zetas on our campus.
No,
Anyway, we're
Sigma
on this
Chi-
fraternity tangent, but
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so
So you wanted last week after the show, we were talking about what you wanted to talk about, and you said, I don't want to talk about. Or no, this is during the week. I texted you. I said, I just want to fucking rail on this COVID bill, and you're like, let's make it a good, happy show because people talk about government overspending all the time. I'm like, fair enough. That's a good point. It is relevant.
yes,
It is a relevant topic currently, but
it is. But every bill
you
has
wanted to be happy.
pork in it, and it's more of
Right.
the same. We talk about a lot of that shit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Charlie's
wanted
got
to
a
talk
little bit
about
more
New
pork in
Year's
him
and
after this
and
holiday.
see, what was on your mind, tell you what's on my mind. And this has been a rough year. It's been a rough year for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. And it's been a contemptuous year, and it's been a divisive year. And I'll tell you what, the first half of 2021 is not going to be easy, at least the first few months.
No, all right. I was going to make that point. Yeah. People think that, clock strikes midnight. It's 2021. Hey guys, remember 2020? That shit fuck year. It's 2021 now. It's time. It's not. It doesn't work like that. It'll be rough for the first half of the year, I think.
If people are more optimistic though, and can, live with hope and anticipation and all that, then in that sense, maybe it can be better. But I wanted to talk about kind of like normal stuff. Like people, New Year's resolutions and why they fail and how to be happy and
That's good. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, and I'll say this may sound really simple, but I've had my share of shit thrown at me, and I like life. I enjoy my days. And everybody has their days. But the secret to being happy is just a commitment to being happy. It's like anything else. The secret to being fit is you got to exercise every day. The secret to having a healthy diet and losing weight is eating well every day. And the secret to being happy is committing your mind to being happy every day, thinking happy thoughts and reminding yourself, I want to be happy. And the way you become happy is literally acting happy. It's just like anything, practice makes perfect. And the more you practice it, it's like be nice to yourself, be nice to other people, have a happy attitude, and you'll be happy or happier for sure. The idiot at, what's the golf place?
Top Golf.
Top Golf.
That's what I was going to tie it into, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just let it go, man. There's nothing to gain.
No, you're right. And
from letting that guy flip that switch.
And I think about this. I went there at 11 o'clock. It was 11 a.m. I was pretty much just starting my day. That was the first time I left the house today with the family. It's holiday season. I could have let that guy fuck up my whole day. And it would have been my fault too. And we've talked about this a lot on the show. Outrage, words don't hurt you, yada, yada. But I could have come to this show totally low energy, totally pissed off, and it would have ruined the show, and Chris probably would have had a rough day too. So that shit is toxic and it spreads. So the only thing I had to do was just, like I did, brush it off, be like, this fucking guy, and I know that I'm crazy for getting upset about it, but yada, yada. And I'm still happy about it, and I'm still happy that it happened because I kind of had something to laugh about. But you're totally right. And this isn't the key to everything, but they say that when you smile, just pretending to smile, that actually releases endorphins in your brain, or it makes you happy. It's like you're tricking yourself. You're lying about it. But
smiling and
that
laughing.
is true with everything.
Yeah.
It really does work like that. And as long as you just kind of get it going, that's why I try to throw jokes at everything. Smile at people in public. Now, you can't do that now because of masks. But
that's true.
So,
yeah, I thought about that. You can't see people smile or frown, or you can't see so much of the communications
you gotta laugh. Yeah.
that take place that go unspoken. Yeah, you got to laugh.
Yeah.
But all those things,
That's
if you want to be more fit, get committed and go at it. It's the Jordan Peterson thing. Just be whatever you want to be better at. Just be a little bit better. Like, I hate New Year's resolutions, but my desk in my bedroom, it's my personal desk. It's not business. It's personal stuff. There's this shit all over it that needs filing and throwing away and whatever. So I made a commitment to myself, 3 things every day. So there's probably, I don't know, between things I need to save, things I need to throw out, things I need to file, things I need to decide if I want to keep or not. I bet there's 100 things. So if I touch 3 things a day, which will take 5 minutes or less,
you'll be done by February.
It'll be clean in a month.
Yep.
3 things. So that's what I'm going to start doing.
And it doesn't even take 5 minutes, I don't think. Right?
No. Yeah, at the most, right? If something's got to go, I don't know, wherever. far away.
Like, you know what? I'm actually going to do 4 today. Why not?
And if you don't like the
Oh,
shape
fuck it,
you're in, we talked about this, that, go start walking every day. You don't have to join
I
a
just
gym.
joined a gym.
Yeah.
I did just
But
join.
to get started, you don't have to join a gym and get a trainer. And I know so many people where they're like, now's not the time. I want to start and I want to do it right. And I'm going to join a gym and I want to lift weights and do CrossFit and, do all these things. And it's like, you know what? Why don't you start by just going out the front door and taking a walk? And then maybe you grab a couple paperweights, and while you're walking, just move them around. And that right there,
Do this.
yeah, move more, eat less. It's really simple. And,
Yeah.
it does not take a lot to make progress with whatever. If you want to be smarter, buy a book or download a book and just read 10 minutes a day. And people say there's no time.
If you don't
And
know how to do that, just learn it.
that's not true. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. There's time. There's always time to do a little bit of something.
I totally fucking agree. And this is the root of it all has been this is not my own revelation. I listened to this guy, Gavin McInnes, talk about this, but he thinks that the root of all that stuff is austerity. So nowadays, if you want to alter your mentality, when you think that it's not the right time to do the gym, there's something that's holding you back. It's not that it's not the right time. It's that you think that for whatever fucking reason, because I forget your limbic system is telling you that. Because it's easy, right? Easy to not do it. So austerity can come in many shapes and sizes. And the best thing that he used to say was, it starts with this. It's as simple as not taking your phone to the bathroom when you are going to the bathroom, right? Sitting on the toilet. It's like, instead of just sitting there, you're like reading the news, doing whatever, playing a video game, go put a book on the back of the toilet and fucking do that. That's austerity. Don't zip up your jacket when you're outside. Don't when that alarm goes off, don't hit the snooze button. Just get up right away. And that's what, it saved you 5 minutes of sleep, but it actually made you tougher. And there's this great book by this guy, Scott Carney, called What Doesn't Kill You. It's about cold conditioning and physical changes that your body can undergo by doing cold conditioning. But that's the type of thing, if you just do it enough, you get comfortable with suffering and it doesn't become this horrible thing. It no longer is suffering. And you do actually have a higher resistance to that type of negative, I don't want to do that thinking. And it's not, don't think that you're like, I don't want to be that person. It's like, it's the easiest thing in the world to just do 5 minutes of suffering every day. And the next day you do 5 minutes, you'll be like, oh, I could have done 6, That's as easy as that. And it's a great way to start just by doing a tiny little bit each day. Just like Chris said, start with the 1 pounds and then go to the 5s.
Yep. And it's funny, somebody will say, well, the quickest way to lose weight, the most efficient way time-wise to burn calories is running. And people say, well, I'm not good at running. Well, it's because you don't run, right? I'm not good at fill in the blank. You're not good at anything if you've never done it. And it's just like you said, austerity, another way to describe it could be just lazy thinking. And your dad and I have talked about this, and these are his words. And this is so, so sad. And I've said this to you before, and I'm sure I've said it on the podcast. People will do more to avoid pain than gain pleasure. It's the whole, everything you do is, your recreation is gaming or sitting in front of the TV and watching football, and other sports, every day, all the time. And, chips and dip and, if you don't want to gain weight, here's the thing. I don't have real good food discipline. The way I keep myself from gaining weight is I don't buy crap and bring it in the house. Because if I do, I'll fucking eat it.
Oh, I fucking want Oreos.
I used to tell Sherry.
I don't have any Oreos, all right?
Yeah, Sherry used to cook dinner pretty much every night. and she'd make these big plates. And I'm like, I'm gaining weight, man. And she'd say, well, just don't eat everything on it. And I said, look, if you put it in front of me, I'm going after it. You know, and it's just
It's
like,
gonna be gone. Yeah.
it's caveman mentality, you know, just, it's right there. I'm going to eat it. So I don't, you know, I buy corn chips and that's it. Chips and salsa. You know, if there were Ruffles
That's
and
the way to
sour
do it.
cream dip, I would devour it. You know, just find like root cause discipline. You know, and like you said, you know, don't hit snooze. Get out of bed. You created toughness. What I thought you were actually going to say is you just created 5 minutes for you in the day.
No, fuck that. The 5 minutes is less important than the lesson that is. I got up 5 minutes earlier, and it didn't fucking ruin my day, and I actually feel kind of good about that.
Yeah.
That I did that because it was tough. It was harder. Yeah, and it's a kind of a Jordan Peterson-esque way of thinking, but it's like take on more responsibility, kind of. But it's like just do that for you, and you'll feel better. Like waking up at 6:30 a.m. feels better than waking up at 10:45 a.m. because you just did the easy thing, and you know that in your heart of hearts that you did the fucking easy thing, and it was easy because you did it because it was easy. Now, if you did the hard thing, not only do you have an extra 3 or 4 hours in your day, but you're like, I fucking did that, and it wasn't impossible.
And you start
I don't
feeling
know.
better
you don't
about
have to
yourself.
share that with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, but it's not something to tweet about. You know, it's not. Don't Jocko Willink. You're like, oh, look at my fucking. It's 4:30 a.m. faggots or whatever you're gonna do. Excuse me. Jeez, sorry. Watch the f-bomb there, but it's and I didn't mean that in the homosexual way. Just the calling your friends that in grade school. You just feel better inside, and you start to feel like that's a feeling you want to chase just as much as getting that extra 5 minutes was. So that's a good thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'd have more material on that, but it's pretty simple. Just whatever you want to do, sack up and do it, and you will and you can do it. Period.
Yeah.
But everything starts with the first step. And if you wait,
This is our second
this is our second.
New Year's Eve show. I was going to say we should spice it up, but go ahead. I totally took the wind out of your sails.
I don't know.
If you wait,
I was going to say something along the lines of the cheesy adage, the longest journey starts with one first step
single step.
kind of thing.
I was going to say, look back at last year and watch our show last year on this day and be like, damn, if I had taken Chris's advice and just started walking on, December 27th of last year, might have been a lot easier to do it, in 5 days from now.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking blink of an eye. It was gone like that. 2020 was a shit show, and the shit went by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I tell the story last year of the best New Year's Eve party ever? Because this is a good story.
Let's hear it again.
All right. Your dad and I went to California for the Rose Bowl in 1980.
You did tell this story. Yeah.
Did I tell it? Well, I'll tell it again.
But you can, yeah.
Our parents each gave us a plane ticket. And I don't know if my parents gave me spending money or not. If they did, it wasn't a lot, $100 or not enough to get us through a week. So we're like, we looked at renting a car for a week and we're like, fucking A, several $100s. We rented a 1979 yellow Toyota Corolla from Ugly Duckling. No shit, Ugly Duckling Rent-A-Car. This thing struggled to go, I don't know, I think it struggled to go 60. I think it went like 59 miles an hour. This thing was a beater. In a way, it was kind of cool because we looked like we belonged. We looked like we were from around there because we had just this piece of shit car. So we get there. We found people. We found fun. We went down to San Diego to a guy who had graduated and was starting his Navy stint on Coronado Island, and that was January 31st. I don't know if we went there the night before or whatever. Doesn't matter. So mid-afternoonish, we were playing volleyball. Things kind of wound down, and people started talking about. Yeah, I do remember telling this story. What we were going to do for New Year's Eve. So your dad and I hadn't thought about anything, and like guys were talking about a party they were going to, and it was allegedly going to have a bunch of people from our fraternity, and it was being thrown by a girl who's a member of a sorority that a lot of guys dated and we had a lot of parties with. So, whether or not this was true, we didn't know, and there was this very vague description of you go north on A1A or whatever California's equivalent of that is, and there's it's like 15 miles north of LA, and there's an exit, and there's like a Days Inn or something like that on the right, and you get off and you go towards the ocean, and when the houses start getting really big, look for the driveway and it'll have balloons or something like that. And so for whatever reason we weren't paying attention, and we got a late start, and we're driving from San Diego to north of LA, which is probably 2 hours. And this car, literally is struggled to go 60 miles an hour. So your dad and I are like, you know what, we're going to wind up buying a case of beer and sitting on the hood of the car at Ventura Beach and just toasting in the New Year's on our own. It was getting late, these directions were sketchy, and we were like, whatever, we're in California, it's warm, certainly could have, worse New Year's Eves. And it's funny because I think New Year's Eve, you almost never have fun because it's New Year's Eve and you got plans and it's going to be awesome, and it just never turns out that way. So the best thing about this was just our expectation was we're never going to find this place. These shitty directions, this car that goes fucking 59 miles an hour, and we're pushing it to whether we get there or not, even if by some miracle of ways we find this elusive place. But it's like probably 10:30, and we're north of the city, and lo and behold, there's like a La Quinta Inn or something like that, and we're like, it's 15-ish miles, meets the description. No. So we get off and we just head west, and houses start getting big and pretty big and pretty nice, and pieces of property and fancy fences, even like, brick walls. And lo and behold, there's like a mailbox with, I don't know if it had a balloon or whatever. And we turn in and there's a party, and we're like, we're almost like, this is just impossible. There's no way. This would be like a dream come true. This just ain't going to happen. So we pull in, and there's like a house, and then there's a small house, and I don't know if it was a rec house, servants' quarters, whatever, wherever it was built. We go in there, and literally, like, the people we would have wanted to hang out with from the fraternity were there. Like probably 30 guys, 20, 30 guys. The people from the sorority we would have wanted to hang out were there. There are kegs, 6-foot long subs. There's like this midnight supply table with bottles of champagne and those party poppers, and it's like fucking Nirvana, New Year's Nirvana. And we walk in, and it was just no expectations, and we wind up in this beautiful home, tons of beer, guys were out playing some goofy ass game they made up on their tennis courts, and And it was just a blast, shooting pool, playing ping pong, drinking beer, eating food. And Courtney, I don't know if you still watch, but I love telling this story. And this is the part that I love telling the most. So this game house was very, very, very nice. It was mostly carpeted. Again, like super nice pool table, super nice everything. New Year's comes, and do you know what I'm talking about? Those party poppers, you like pull a string, and a little firecracker goes off, and confetti goes everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, it makes a fucking mess. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a fucking mess. Okay. It makes a fucking mess. Then add in a bunch of drunk fraternity guys and sorority girls with probably 50 bottles of champagne easily. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, 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 boom. Champagne everywhere. Dyed confetti everywhere. You look down on the ground.
The floor turned.
Oh my God.
Tie-dye.
Tie-dye floor. It turned purple, red and blue. And so I'm watching, and there's like this purple tidal wave of champagne mixed dyed liquid on this light colored carpeting. And I'm like, oh my God, man, these poor people. This place is fucking ruined. And I felt like I was the only person who noticed what was going on. And I'm just feeling so bad. And I'm like, whatever, it's it's fucking over now. Something's going on. Bet it's an Amazon delivery. Yeah, it's got to be an Amazon delivery. So party continues, and I'm just feeling bad. And it also made it very difficult. So, the party goes on till 2 a.m-ish, and nobody's has any business driving, let alone is there any place around to sleep.
You can go. Yeah.
The people who got the pool table were lucky. And I mean, tables, outside, because this carpeting was just a nasty mess. And I remember waking up early in the morning, like sweaty, hangover feeling, and here comes Courtney and her mom walking up the walkway to the door to the game house, and I'm like, oh my God, this woman is going to flip out. And I'm like, I'm not sure you want to go in there. And I didn't know Courtney real well at the time. I went into the main house and hung out with her parents actually for I don't know how long. I was pretty drunk, but seemed
for
like
me that I always ended up doing that on New Year's Eve, especially. I'd
that
be
was
like,
really
what's going? Because the parents were probably like okay with the drunkenness. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were very cool. I sat at their kitchen table and shot the shit with them and had a lot of fun. That was probably the coolest part of the night. Anyway, hi Lucy, is everything okay? You all right? Come on. I brought little doggy beds in here, and I figured just they love listening to me, that they're just not used to this room. Anyway, she's like, no. Let's go look at it. And she goes in and looks at it, and I'm thinking like, she's just going to be horrified. And almost verbatim, she goes, well, this isn't anything we can't clean up. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't think that the best carpet cleaning company could have pulled that dye out of that carpeting. Anyway.
Let me just call Stanley Steamer real quick.
Right.
Take care
no
of
big
it
deal.
right away.
Right. $100, no biggie. But in terms of what could be cleaned up, everybody kind of woke up, pitched in, and, there was this like communal moment, and that was like not even close. the best New Year's Eve I've ever had. And the biggest thing was expectations, right? There were no expectations to be met. And the night so far exceeded like what you might even imagine things, would turn out. And it was a blast.
That's
it
great.
was just so much fun. Yeah.
That's so funny that you definitely told this story last New Year's episode, but I totally remembered that wrong. I remember this story ending in you ended up at a party, but it was just the wrong party, and it was still great. But it was the right. No. You ended up at the right party. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally remembered it wrong. I'm like, oh, yeah, you ended up at the stranger's house, and they're like, who fucking cares? It's New Year's Eve. Come on in. It's 1989, bitches. Yeah.
That'd be a good story too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be a good story too. But I love telling this story. I bet I've told this story 20 times. I just love telling the story. And I've revisited the story with Courtney a couple of times. And it's funny. Her folks even certainly remember that party. And she said they remembered talking with me at the kitchen table.
That's great. I'd be like, oh, yeah, you were that. My buddy's dad definitely remembers me at the last party because I was just like this with it. We'd ended up talking. I said, there's a picture of me. This is maybe 5 or 6 years ago. This is in high school with a Bud Light, passed out, literally face down on the kitchen table. We had just been talking and hanging out all day. But,
come here.
I don't have that problem that you have. That New Year's Eve is often a letdown because high expectations. Because not only did I have high expectations, they were usually met.
Really?
Yes, I have shot a bottle of champagne into the ceiling before. It was this fucking ridiculous millions of dollars mansion. This guy whose parents owned a steel company, and I'm just like, shoots out at 200 miles an hour, wherever the fucking cork sticks in the roof, and it doesn't even matter because it's like everyone's having a great time with this girl. I've never had like a terrible New Year's Eve. I don't think.
Well, mine haven't been terrible, but they've just never.
Sure.
They've always
never like lives up to the hype.
Right. I would say, just mildly disappointing. Just disappointing. Oh. Where you're just like, whatever. You wake up the next day and you're like,
The New Year's Eve where you kiss a bottle instead of a girl is always the worst one.
Yeah, times have changed. Back in the day, you would just kiss anybody. Now, I have your consent to place my hand on your hip and put my lips against your lips?
Document.
Right. Well, can you sign this unconditional release so that I might kiss you?
Stand here. I brought this notary. He has to get to his own party. Can you get this over with? Yeah.
Anyway, love telling that story. Maybe I'll tell it again next year.
That's great. It could be a tradition. Yeah, but it's good stuff. Happy times in old Cali. I've never been, but whatever. And have a freaking good time this year, folks. I think that puts us over on the time, but I'm just in a good mood. I think you kind of wrapped it up nicely, put it in a good vibe. If you want to better yourself. It's just like one step at a time, like you said. The longest journeys start with a single step.
And be happy and be good to yourself too.
Yeah.
Try hard. If you fail, give yourself a break. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, be your own best friend. And hopefully at some point we turn a corner and 2021 becomes something better.
And you know what? As a commitment, that's a good, yes, hopefully it turns into that. But as a commitment that we're not full of shit, I think that Chris and I should commit to actually enacting this in our lives, and we'll be sharing it with you throughout the next several weeks so that you can keep us on track.
All right, so there's two things I want to do. I want to be better at actually going to bed. I always fall asleep in front of the TV. And I've done that my whole life. Just the process of going to bed bugs me. So that, and then just being more organized with paper and crapola.
Okay, so that's two things that's fair. And when I was coming over to your house more, I could testify to your sleeping a little bit better. But now I'll have to just take your word for it. But now I don't know what I'm gonna pick. I will have picked and started doing something prior to next episode. I just need something that is valuable. I need to focus my energy here. I've already joined the gym, but maybe I need to start getting on the bike or some shit and doing a little bit more of that. But I will commit to something, and we'll be tuning you guys into that, just not so that we're not full of shit and this is all some nice fancy story. But I think that's a good way to do it. But would you like to ask the first question for the 8-ball about 2021, even though it's not 2021 yet? Why don't you just be straight? What the fuck?
Are we going to reach a level of immunity that will, get us out of trouble, air quotes, in time to enjoy summer weather in the May-June timeframe?
May and June. Okay, let's see.
Where we're not obsessed with masks and distancing and for the right reasons.
Okay, so by June, let's call it. Let's see.
June 1st.
My reply is no. I think you added that modifier at the end about masks. I think it will be fine, but I think you might still have to wear a face covering. I think we'll be at that point, but they'll be like, that might even be just the tail end of masks. And then July, August starts rolling around, people will be like, fuck this garbage, I'm out. I'm just going to it.
Yeah, but my caveat is doing it for the right reason.
You're muted. Oh,
and
sorry,
I
you went
still
mute
feel
for a
that
second.
way.
Oh, what?
I don't want
hear
people
what you
to do shit just because of fatigue.
Oh, that's fair. I'm not saying want. I'm just saying I think that's what'll happen.
Yeah, I threw qualifiers in there. Whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You got one?
2020 was a pretty bad year. Was 2020 the worst year of this decade? How about that? As I see it, yes. As I see it, yes. That was the fucking answer.
So we're saying
So
the decade started this year?
We got, yes. Decade starts this year. We got the first one out right in front. That's what I've been saying now for the past couple months. We just got it out of the way. We got 9 more years of good shit. So at least better shit. So I'm okay with that.
I can live with that.
Will go down. Oh, and I saw this hilarious joke today, and then we'll close. But it was this guy saying, think about it, in a few years from now, 10 or 12 years from now, you'll be going through one of your old coats, and you'll reach into your pocket, and you'll feel a mask, and you'll be like, oh my god, this is from 2020. Remember that weird pandemic that we had?
Glove compartment or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll be like, Jesus, that was such a weird year, and you'll put the glove in the trash or whatever, and you go outside, and you'll bring your backpack with your machete and your water bottle, and you'll hack through the forest to get to work and try to stay in the shadows to avoid the cannibalistic tribes that stop you from scavenging. That was a pretty good one.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, cue
Anyway.
music.
We'll leave you with that. Happy New Year's, folks.
Happy New Year.
Yep.
What the hell song is this?
I think I know this song.
I don't know.
Wait.
It must have moved down on its own. Happy New Year. Say goodbye to Charlie. Say goodbye to Chris. It sounds like Jamiroquai. Happy New Year.
Ho, ho, ho.